Hey guys, in this video, we're going to use Langflow from DataStax in order to build out an AI native ad agency. We're using a marketing team and an ad creative team. What we're going to do is we're going to have the marketing and the media buying team communicate with the ad creative team, and we're going to build out something really cool. So let's do it. All right, when you log into your Langflow account, this is what you will see. These are my different Langflows. So I'll click on New Flow, and to get started, just click on Simple Agent. There's a link to a blog post in the description, so you can get all of these instructions in a text format with images and a walkthrough as well. Now, let me come back to this in a second because I want to show you what we're going to ultimately come away with. So there are a number of players. So this is Peggy here, and this is Harry, and then over here is Charlie. Essentially, we have an input that we can put here in our playground. And just to give you an idea of what the output is going to be, I'll click on the latest thing. So I'm actually running Google Ads right now for this new desktop application. This is the Amicus PII Anonymizer. It is an open source tool. It gets rid of all the personal identifiable information, so phone numbers, names, social security numbers, all that stuff from files. So companies can stay HIPAA compliant, or financial firms can, or just even startups cannot have private information just out in the cloud when they're interacting with AI, right? So it's very useful, especially if you're using things like DeepSeek or ChatGPT. All right, let's advertise this. Let's figure it out. So when you go to advertise, there are a number of things that you have to do. So I'm here in Google Ads and I'm looking at this particular ad group. I've got 328 impressions. I've spent $20 on it. I've gotten 21 clicks, right? And then of course I have I want to improve this. So these are all things that I kind of came up with. So privacy preserving AI. These are actually great. And actually Google recommended a lot of these keywords and they're not necessarily aligned. Like if you listen to my description and then you look at these keywords, you would probably think, oh, but coming up with keywords is really hard. And then even when you come up with your ads, you know, for example, I have this protect data when using AI. So these are the ads I'm running. They're not performing great. I'm spending like $1 on a click, and out of 20 clicks, I've gotten 5 conversions, but not too bad. But I think I can do better, and I think I can also widen who I'm targeting. So how do I do that? So that's what we're going to have our team of agents help us figure out. So these types of ads, stay compliant, right? these, I need better creative. All right, so let's go to the team. Ultimately, I got a huge competitive analysis on all of the different type, all of the different platforms that offer similar services. So these are keywords that I can use. And I got a breakdown of the cost of what they're spending. So a few things that you'll want to know about. You connect this flow here is going from my message up here to the input for this agent. And this agent has instructions to use this tool to make an API request to get information about the keywords and the pricing through an API that we offer. And then from there, the response down here is connected to this input for this agent who has this instruction and is using this model. And then we have the Google Search API, which is the tool. We have tool mode turned on for the tools, and we have tool mode turned off for the agents. And then it it does a Google search, looks at 8 results for whatever it's searching for, that can do a number of searches, and then it takes the response from that and then sends it to this agent, who then has basically consolidates all that information and provides a strategy because they have this set of instructions, which we also have a link to the system prompt for this media manager based off Charlie Munger and his mental models, which is brilliant for marketing. The link to that is in the description. And then that leads to the chat output. And so when you go to the playground, you can chat with this and it'll basically go boop, 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 like that. So
how do we build this out, and how do we use the Langflow? So I'll go back to my projects. I'll click New Flow and then Simple Agent. I'll get rid of all this stuff. I don't need this tool. I don't need this calculator. I just need the chat input. We start with that. And I like to create these little stickers here to separate out the different departments. So I'll say this is this, and then I can put this over that, and then I can put other stuff like you saw in the original. But right now, just to keep things simple, I have this agent. Okay, it starts with me putting my OpenAI key, which I need. So you put your OpenAI key, which you get from OpenAI, but you can also use other providers. And in a future post on the blog, I'll show you how to actually make these calls for free. So use AI for free using Akash network, which is pretty cool, and how to configure it with this. So I'll probably put the link to the description at a later date when I get to that blog post. Now here you have your agent. Now you want a tool. We want to do an API call. So I'll click on API requests, and then I'll just drag it over. So this will be an API request. And then what I'll do is I'll say tools, and then I'll connect the tool to here. So when you click, I can't click this right now. You have to go to tool mode and turn it on. Now that I've turned it on, I can connect this to here. Now the key is when you go to agent instructions, you have to say to it, use Markdown to format your answer. Yeah. So I'll say you're a citizen. Okay. And then I'll say you are connected to the API tool, and you will use this endpoint and update the parameters based on what makes sense. I'm just doing a simple one now. This will be more robust. And then you'll get your API call and give it an example. It'll be a JSON response, pretty much like this, right? So I'll get the search term that I searched for, which I'm not sure actually what was shoes. This is just for like shoes. And so look at this. You get the recommended ones, and then you can see the average cost per click, the high cost per click, and the low cost per click. 31 cents if you want to advertise for Air Force shoes, right? So I can see all of those and create the limits. This is what is coming out. And then I'll connect, I'll just put in that API call you'll be making is to this. That's the thing. Keyword equals shoes. Change shoes to what you think the keyword should be. And so now it knows how to call this. Then I will just look, I'll do a copy and I'll do a paste. I just did Control C, Control V to do that. And then I'll put another agent down here. I'll zoom out a little bit. And then I'll create another agent. I'll put my API key, and then I add a Google search. And then the number, I mean, look at all these. I can even go through Arvix. I'll put that here, and I have to put my Google API key and my Google CSE ID. You can just ask ChatGPT how to do that and get those, but you'll need to go to your cloud in your Google console. Again, I'll turn tool mode on, right? So I can connect this tool over to, or rather this agent to this tool. Now they're connected, and I already have my instructions, but for this one, I'll say use the Google search API attached to you to make queries. Keep the original information from the, an example of just a quick start. And so then you put that here. So now you have your Google search connected, and then the response from this. Now, one little thing, I just told it to do a lot, so I'll go to controls, and inside controls you can put your API keys, etc., your different models, whatever you're using, and more about this in the blog post again. And then number of messages. So number of messages is within one session or within one chat, how many messages it keeps up with. So you can make this higher or lower. It'll be cheaper if you're using OpenAI. If you're using a third party, which again, there will be a link in the description in the future about how to do this for free. And then session ID, that information will be sent over. Max tokens. Okay, so I'll put 300. So 300, you can think of tokens. One token represents on average about 3 to 4 characters. So this is for output, right? What it's outputting, right? How many characters? You want to make sure it has enough. Usually I'll put more than 300, but this is just being kind of cheap. And then you'll take the response and then you'll connect that to another agent. So I'll just, again, copy this agent. And to show you how I do that, you can actually just go here and then say duplicate. Goes to this input, and then this response right now is going directly to the output. We don't want that. We want to get rid of this one, and I'm going to zoom in. You get these little dots, and you can see all the things it can connect to. So this response is going to go to this input, and then I already have these linked up through the tool set and tools, and then I'm going to have this response go over to this input, and then I'm going to give this guy his instructions, and I'm going to say and the client's goals. A lot more that goes into that. And then after that, I'll take that response and I'll connect it here, just like that, right? So there is the chat output. And so ultimately, that's how you link up the whole thing. And everything is based on how you do the system prompts. I have some example system prompts in the description. And then you can get fancy like I did, and you can put categories and then color code them. These automatically go to the back. And essentially what you do is you just play around and then you chat with it. Now, if I do it right now, I didn't put my API key, so it's going to give me an error. But ultimately, you can turn this whole thing into an API, and instructions for what to do and how to do that are here. Isn't that cool? You generate a token and you put the token in, and now you can make the call. And really, when you have many different agents that are operating completely separately, you get the type of insights you get are really, really, really amazing. So all right, that's how you build it out. And then ultimately, everything automatically saves. And ultimately, you come out with this. And it works brilliantly. And now my Google ads don't have to stink. That's awesome. And I'm really excited because now I have an idea what my competitors are doing, and I have an idea of how much they're paying, or rather what the value of those keywords are. More importantly, the volume and the market the addressable market that I can expect to reach. All right, that's how you build a basic media buying team, ad creative team, to work with your executive team, which is you, with Langflow. So that should get you started. And what you can do is just endless. I mean, look at all this stuff. So in future videos, we'll talk more about various types of really cool agents that we can build. This is just a starter to get you going with understanding how to get the agents connected to the tools. Thanks for watching.